Hi guys, we are back again, and this is day 4 of the Before the Break series. So, as we know, we are having this series of 30 days where there's the break, the mend, and the healing. And healing of what? Healing of the heart. So, yep, everything is through and through about the heart and how we actually mend this heart of ours. And I've said that the first series is the break, so before the break. So this day 4 is neuroception, which is the silent alarm of childhood. So before we proceed, kindly subscribe, like this channel, Hush to Roar. This is your Hush to Roar. Switch on your notification button so you don't miss a video. It's going to get hot in here. We've just started. So this is neuroception, and we will go into a bit of neuroscience. Everything's about the healing of the heart. And as I've mentioned before, I am a trauma-informed specialist, and I've got a raw event coming, which is about healing childhood sexual abuse. So survivors from all the traumatic events. So, but to start with, this is before the break. I will go into how we can heal and different science modalities behind it. So before there were words, we had feelings. Before we understood danger, our body knew. So it always knew, yours did, mine did, all the things that happened or is happening to us, it's actually in our body. So this is the safety cloud that I'll also be talking about. And you guys know that I go through painting, drawing, and I will be showing you the painting I have done, which the cloud represents what every child needs. A felt sense of safety, what I needed before the storm, what you needed that you didn't get in words. So safety is what we need. That's the foundation of what the nervous system needs. So let's talk about the science of that silent alarm. So in neuroscience, as I've said, I've done a lot of certificates in psychology. The term neuroscience, in neuroscience, neuroception, it's a concept developed by Stephen Porges. Some of you might know Stephen Porges. He is the founder of Polyvagal theory, and we'll be going into that as we go along. So neuroception, it means the body picks up on cues of safety, threats, before the mind even has words to explain it. That's what neuroception is. It's like a sense, that sense. So when a child tenses up as someone enters the room, or flinches or raises an eyebrow, they're not being dramatic. There's a sense that they've realized before they could say something. And this is the nervous system that is running like a surveillance in the background. Yeah, so it's looking for danger. That's the primary role of our brain, and the nervous system would be the cue that would take up any connection or disconnection. So as I've said, please, we would love your connection, would love your support for our raw event that is going to take place on the 25th of October in London this year. Just thought I'd have a little transition there. So let's talk about that neuroception. And the reason I've brought it up is because most of us have had childhood experiences that have not been so favourable. And we need to now heal ourselves if we didn't get the words, or take it as a lessons learned and be better with our children. So when a child is held emotionally, physically, or spiritually, there's what I coined a C.E.O. that helps them self-regulate or self-soothe. And that C.E.O. that I coined is the connected empathic other. So the nervous system has a way of co-regulating, specifically if they have a CEO. If you had a CEO, then you would know better how to self-soothe. So they begin to rest, know how to rest well, feel safe, and trust life. I think that's the most important thing about trust in life. And I have got here that I've drawn. This is the cloud, and we have these 4 symbols here. And at the end of this session, I will unveil something there. So why this really matters is that when we are able to self-soothe as a child, it gives us that robust resilience growing up as an adult, so that we can face those challenges that are going to come no matter what. It's not a question of if, it's always when, because they will come. And if we've had a lovely foundation that has equipped us with the tools and techniques to self-soothe, we have a little bit of a more, should I say, a more regulated way of getting back to equilibrium. Our nervous system does. So I am talking now about, let's go into my childhood a bit. So I've taken you through days 1 to 3 and talking about my foster parents and how I had a beautiful foundation going into nature, how I was always protected and I didn't feel any way, shape or form in terms of danger. Now that was a solid foundation that I had, and that is not everyone's story. But what I can say is that if you didn't have that lovely foundation, by the way, just spoilers alert, my life didn't continue to be honky-dory, roses and butterflies. It turned, and that's why we've got 3 sections. But if yours if you didn't have a good start in life, I want to give you hope, and I want you to have faith in yourself that you can heal. But it will take sustained effort with a lot of support from CEOs, but also professional support, because I just think we are here, I know that we are here for a reason. And if someone has hurt us as someone's hurt me and yourself, what a tragedy that we are adding insult to the injury that someone has inflicted on us. And that's why I've got this passion of ensuring that if you have undergone, especially childhood sexual abuse, that we owe it to ourselves to heal holistically and get that love from ourselves if we didn't have a CEO, but also be connected. So the ACEs study, there's something that's called ACEs, ACES. So the ACEs studies research says that if you have not had a good way of knowing the cues, neuroception, or having good safety, we have a higher chance of having increased risk of heart disease. That's why the heart is the basis of what I do. We have autoimmune conditions. I've had several myself, and we just have a very difficult time building good relationships with others. And those are the areas that I'm here to help you get back to where you're meant to be, so that your life can go as, so that it's like I'm giving you a bumper reel, so you don't have to go through all the traumatic events that I went through to get to where I am today. And if you're still in a space of stuckness, I also want to support you. So my course, the Care Wellness Steps, is an amazing course which is it lies in the foundation of neuroscience, and a lot of it is to do with body, because it sits in our body and I want to help us get it out through the act of art. So that is the main area when it comes to trauma, especially sexual abuse. It's in the body. The mind is there, but it's the body that needs to release all the trauma that's stuck in there. So, as I was saying, the consequences of adverse childhood experiences is gut inflammation, autoimmune diseases, anxiety, depression, and relational trauma. Relational trauma, which is the social trauma, interrelationship. That is the big one because we don't trust ourselves, we don't trust others, we don't trust life. But if we can co-regulate from have a safe adult to co-regulate, someone who we can mirror, who can calm us, be curious and show compassion towards us, then that all is nice and honky-dory. But we know that that's not always the case. So what do? You give it to yourself. That butterfly hug, you start to give you, and it's not woohoo, you start to give yourself so that you can improve your immune system, get stronger. The stress hormone would regulate faster, and you'd start to be able to give yourself the love that you didn't get as a child. So let us look at this painting that I've done tonight. So this is called the safety cloud. Now, what is this safety cloud? So this is a visual anchor, and at the bottom you'll see all these 4 elements. Now these 4 elements, they're all representing something that will remind us of how we all have the power to become a cloud of calm for someone else. So the symbols beneath here, we've got the heart, we've got music, we've got spiral, and we have got a leaf. So these all represent, like this heart is for touch and for love. We've got the music, which is rhythm. We've got this spiral, which is breath and repetition. And then we've got the leaf, which is nature. So these all look very simplistic, but they are simple things that calm the body's silent alarm that we felt back then. We need to still give ourselves this daily reminder if you've gone through adverse childhood experiences, because if we don't, we'll always be in that anxious sort of anxiety mode, and we'll always be thinking that someone's coming to save us. Now, I'm not harsh in saying that there's no one coming to save you, but what I will say is that you've got it in yourself with support of experts who can help you. So if you're listening to your body, then you will know that that neuroception, that a child would have always felt, we still have it. It's not gone. You don't need all the answers, and I'm also taking the lessons to help my children, my young adults, so that I can take the lessons learned. But now we're going to unveil something. We're going to unveil this beneath the cloud. And the reason I've put that here is, as I've said, I used to go out into the woods with my beautiful, beautiful foster mum. And I remember just before the shattering of my life the first time, I did sense something. That was my own neuroception. Now, I knew there was something up. I knew but there was a safety cloud here just around me. But I still felt there was still some darkness there, even though I could feel the protection of my foster mum. The silence, her silence spoke volumes. And I'd like to say today that if we are feeling a cloud, if we have a lovely blanket around us, that's all well and good, but that's not all the time the case. But what we need to do is, if we are feeling that anxiety in us, or someone that we feel we can protect calm towards, but we don't know how, the worst thing we do is just cover it up, just the way this is all covered up. We think, let's just cover it up and just go on with our daily lives because they're a child. Now, my foster mom did an amazing job. She helped me the best she could, but I'll get to why it was all like this. But along my life, as I was going on, there were a lot of cover-ups just like this. And though I knew there would have been a cloud there, that I could help myself, but I didn't have enough tools to support myself. So if I take these off, we have to, no matter how difficult conversations are, we have to remove the darkness so that we can see light. We have to have those conversations. If someone had conversations with me and gave me a sense of C.E.O, connected empathic other, my immune system wouldn't have been compromised the way as much as it is, or, you know, thankfully I'm healing, or indeed all the anxiety and tightness in my neck and all the unexplained operations that I've had. It was as a result of there not being a C.E.O. Don't know if you can see this, but there's a child under there. Is it too bright? There's a child just sitting there waiting to be cuddled, waiting to be seen, waiting to be heard. And that could be you, still you. If it's still you, I'd love you to give you that love, all the love that you deserve. Because at the end of the day, you deserve to love you first. And if no one gave you that cuddle or told you that you were there, or just had that cloud but there was all darkness around it, well, we've unveiled that now, and I can say that you can give yourself the love, the hug, you can sing songs, you can have that repetition of good habit stacking, according to James Clear. Yeah, James Clear. That good habit stacking, you will unlearn and relearn good habits like looking after yourself, your physical appearance, eating well, nourishing your nervous system, and the vagus nerve will get flourished. Because that little child, I'll represent that as your inner child. It's your inner child still waiting to be picked up. And if you look after yourself, it's you saying, I see you, I hear you, you matter. I'm an adult now. I'm going to hold your hand and we're on this journey together. You don't need to just curl up in a corner because I am with you. And you put that lovely blanket, the cloud, which is a safety cloud, but you take off any darkness that is covering you beneath there, because in there is that child that needs to be hugged, loved and cared for. So we have taken that off, and I'd love you to just look at this picture, and if you're the one sitting there thinking you weren't loved enough, you weren't given the care, you were abandoned, you were abused, give yourself that care by seeking care. Don't stay isolated. Give yourself the love, the music, play music, repetition, good habit stacking, and go out in nature. So, if you've enjoyed this video, as I said, I will be showing you art so that your subconscious mind takes it in, because as I said, subconscious speaks the language different to our conscious mind. And I'd love you to continue this journey with me. Subscribe, get the Biology of Becoming, which the link is below, or the Care Foundation course. It's very holistic. It's based on story, neuroscience and somatic, which is body, because we need to get all the undischarged energy out of our body. We can't heal by just CBT, which is cognitive behavior therapy, which is a good therapy. But it's not the first type of therapy you need if you've gone through something like childhood sexual abuse, because that was a destroyer of the soul, and we need to heal the body. And then the thoughts will come. But the feelings, so you can't think your way out of what you're meant to feel your way through. So, if you've enjoyed this video, as I've said, please subscribe, share with a friend, and press your notification button. We are still in Before the Break. Tomorrow is the 5th and final day of Before the Break, and then we start the break. I'll tell you how the breaking of my heart started, and it will be represented visually through art again. But it's getting hot in here, because I'll show you how you can heal that heart through art. So remember, your inner child, it really does have a voice. Don't suppress it, because it comes out anyway, and we don't want to implode, because we don't want to hurt ourselves or others. So what are you going to do? You're going to let it roar. But how are we going to roar? We're going to unveil that little child who is sitting in there, waiting to be picked up, to be hugged, to be loved. And we're going to hug. We're going to show them love. We're going to play music. We're going to have good habit stacking of repetition, so that we unlearn and relearn good habits. And we're going to go into nature. So I'd love you to continue to look at this, so that it has a lovely imprint on your subconscious mind. Bye for now, and I'll see you the next day, our final day of before the break. Bye for now.